Hey, it's Rachel, and I want to talk to you about what to do when your child won't listen when you ask them to get off of their electronics to go do something they have to do, like get dressed or come to the dinner table. This is probably a struggle for you, whether you have a child who's 2 or 12 or even 20. It's very difficult for anybody really to get off of electronics and do something else. So I want to tell you what to do, but I want to also show you what's going on for your child, because that'll actually help you figure out what to do that is the most effective. So you've probably already heard that what most people do on electronics, whether it's playing a game or watching a show, is very addictive. And it lights up that pleasure center in our brain, and we just enjoy doing it. But there's actually a little bit more to it than that too. Human beings are actually very goal-oriented by nature. So we have a goal in mind and we want to complete it, which is a good thing. I mean, imagine if we weren't goal-oriented, we would get distracted all the time. Well, what happens is we have this goal in mind, and when something tries to take us away from the goal, we get really frustrated. Now, you can probably relate to this. Let's say you're on the computer writing an email, and it's something you know you have to complete, and you even know what you're going to say in this email, and you just want to get it done. And your child comes over and starts talking to you. Well, at first that might be a nuisance. You're trying to focus on what you're doing, but eventually it really makes you angry because you have a goal in mind, and you might even explode on them because you're trying to do something and they're trying to take you out of what you're focused on. Well, the same is true of our children. Whatever they're doing, they sort of have a goal in mind. Whether they're playing a video game and their goal is to get to level 3, or they're in the middle of a show and they just want to get to the end. So what happens is they're focused on it, their brain is expecting that to happen, and then we all of a sudden say, it's dinner time, and we ask them to stop what they're doing. And it's very frustrating for them, just like it was for you. So at first it may be a nuisance, but then eventually they're going to explode. And no matter what, they're probably not going to come to the table or go get dressed very happily. So what do we do about this? Do we give up? Absolutely not. But what we do need to realize is that they do have an idea in mind, and when we disrespect their perspective, they get angry and they're less likely to cooperate. So that leads us to what to do, and I have 3 suggestions. The first is just to respect the fact that they were in the middle of something, and you can even walk over and acknowledge that they're in the middle of something. The second thing you can do, and most of you have heard of this already when you're asking a child to stop doing something, is to remind them or give them a warning actually a couple minutes before they have to stop. So maybe you give them a 5-minute warning and a 1-minute warning. But this doesn't work by itself. What you also have to do is recognize that they were in the middle of something. They sort of had a goal in mind. And if you talk to them about that goal, it's actually easier for them to unleash from it or unengage from it. So what you do is you say, hey, I see you were just about to get to level 3. How did you get to level 3? What did you do to get there? So you're actually respecting the world that they're in, and you're helping them transition by talking about the thing that they were in the middle of as you're walking to the thing that they need to do next. So hopefully that helps you understand why it's so hard for them to stop doing what they're doing when they're in the middle of doing something on electronics, to do what you ask them to do, and hopefully now you know how to deal with it. If you have any questions, you can always email me at rachel@rachel-bailey.com, and I will see you next time.